Hi, I'm Michael Saz, the Parrot Wizard, and this is Rachel, my blue and gold macaw, and today I'd like to talk to you about parrots biting. One of the most common problems that parrot owners face, something that's quite unpleasant, and it's not just unpleasant for you when you're the one that's on the receiving end of the bite, but also quite uncomfortable and unpleasant for the parrot as well, because in general when the parrot is put in a position where it feels the need to bite, the parrot is already quite driven by anxiety and defensive reflex, so not a good scenario for either case. So when we are trying to befriend a parrot to be our friend, solving biting is one of our priorities. And unfortunately, a lot of people just really don't understand parrot biting, and the solutions that they're trying to accomplish are not really helping. Most people try to focus on the specific bite, on that moment, on the consequences, the actions, and they want to try to punish the bite. And unfortunately, that's not how it really works with parrots, and quite often, more often than not, and it's just a matter of the next time that the parrot bites. So I'd like to present to you the one foolproof method that's guaranteed to keep you from getting bit by your parrot or parrots in general. And the answer is, keep your hands to yourself. If you don't try to handle the parrot, if you don't put your hands on the parrot when it doesn't want that, your chances of getting bit are actually very, very small. If you don't put the parrot on your hand or your arm, if you don't try to touch your parrot, just like I am with Rachel right now, I'm keeping a little bit of distance, I'm not trying to handle her at the moment, it's not really possible to get bit. Now, there may be some extreme, unlikely cases of parrots actually flying over just to attack people. That gets a little bit more complicated. I do have suggestions for that as well, but not at this specific moment. But overall, if you don't put yourself in harm's way, you're not going to get bitten. That's because parrots aren't really aggressive animals. They don't tend to try to come and bite you on purpose. They generally only bite out of defense, out of trying to get you not to do something. So in that case, if the parrot doesn't want you in its cage taking it out, it might bite not to be taken out. If the parrot doesn't want to be on your hand, it might bite not to come on your hand. And don't try to overread it. There can be a lot of other things that the parrot doesn't want, but in general, when they are afraid of something or don't want something to be done to them, they will use biting as their way of getting out of that. And whenever you put yourself in harm's way, the possibility, if it's likely or unlikely, exists. So when you are at a adequate distance from the parrot, you're not going to be bit, and that one problem is already solved. And it's a guaranteed solution. Your parrot can't bite you if you're not within proximity of it. Worst case, like we were talking about, the parrot that wants to fly and bite you right in the face, well, if you leave that parrot in the cage and don't take it out, that parrot can't bite you. So this is actually the one foolproof solution that will make it so that the parrot doesn't bite. But now you're going to say, well, what's the point of having a parrot if you can't pick it up, if you can't take it out of the cage? It would be cruel to just leave that parrot abandoned in the cage. And of course, we want to be able to handle the parrot and be able to take them out. Now this is where the art and the science of parrot keeping really comes in. How to be able to handle the parrot, how to be able to handle yourself when you are within proximity of the possibility of being bit. That's when the training, taming, and the lifestyle that you have is going to truly impact whether or not you get bitten in those situations. So if you are in a situation where your parrot bites you frequently or infrequently, the first thing to do is to step yourself back and stop that biting. You're not going to be happy keeping that parrot. You might sooner or later try to, sell or give the parrot away because you get fed up with getting bit all the time. Or if it's your family members getting bit, they might just not be happy to have that parrot in the household anymore. So the first and most important step is to stop the biting by keeping your hands to yourself, starting to appreciate a more hands-off approach with the parrot. Next, develop some things that you can do with the parrot that don't require physical contact. If you can have fun with the parrot without using your hands, you're going to enjoy the parrot more, and the parrot's going to be much less frightened of you. It's going to start opening up the relationship towards not being frightened and being more comfortable and less anxious and feeling like it needs to bite in self-defense. Trick training is a great way to build up a hands-off relationship with the bird where you're able to teach them some tricks and keep your hands to yourself in the meantime. Rachel, turn around. Very good. So there are lots of free trick training guides at trainparrot.com. You can learn how to teach lots of these fun hands-off tricks to your parrot to start developing a more intimate relationship without getting bit, without being in harm's way where the potential for biting exists. Talking is another great way to interact with a parrot where your hands don't have to be within bite range or where you can be harmed. You can talk to the parrot, teach them how to talk, and enjoy a conversation. Now, Rachel can be quite a chatterbug, but generally only when she thinks that nobody's around. So it's much easier to talk to her now, and then when maybe she's in the cage, she might start talking up a storm and saying it back, and I'll hear her say some of that later on. But with a more vocal parrot, you might even be able to carry on a conversation or at least enjoy talking to them. They enjoy listening. In that process, you can bond with the parrot without having your hands near where you're getting bit, without causing the parrot anxiety that you're going to be mishandling it in a way that the parrot is uncomfortable with where it needs to bite you. Now finally comes the question of, well, how do I take the parrot out of the cage? How do I have the parrot step on my hand? In order to have the parrot out with me, I need it to be able to come out. How do I put the parrot back in the cage when it's time to go? These are the situations that are much more tricky and are going to require you to have a more in-depth understanding of how parrot training works, the concept of positive reinforcement, and the help of some supplies that are going to help you be able to accomplish those things with your parrot. Now this is beyond the scope of just a 5-10 minute video that I can explain to you. This is my whole entire approach to parrot keeping, and I'd like to share it with you. But piece by piece, you can start to see it in over 600 of my free Parrot Wizard videos at parrotwizard.com/videos. You can also learn my complete approach to parrot training from my book, The Parrot Wizard's Guide to Well-Behaved Parrots. How to keep the parrot from biting you, we just talked about. Keep your hands to yourself. But how to put your hands on the parrot and be able to drive a more hands-on relationship where both you and the parrot can enjoy it and the parrot is friendly with you and doesn't feel defensive in the need to bite. You can learn about how to accomplish that in the book. The book also comes with a free clicker and target stick so that you can begin target training your parrot and using a hands-off approach where you have the parrot follow the target stick to be able to drive the parrot to go where you want it to go, but again, keeping your hands to yourself. You can't get bit when the only thing that's protruding and coming near the parrot is the target, and your hands are back and protected. The parrot feels safer from your hands, doesn't feel the need to bite. Your hands are away from the parrot, so the parrot can't even reach your hand to bite. It's a win-win for everyone. You can show the parrot where you want it to go and what you want it to do, and that's by using a clicker and target stick. They're included for free with a copy of my book, The Parrot Wizard's Guide to Well-Behaved Parrots, if you order it from the Parrot Wizard website. Or you can get a free clicker and target stick included when you get a Parrot Training Perch kit. Now that's another tool that you will really want to have when you want to develop a hands-on, bite-free relationship with your parrot is a Parrot Training Perch stand. First of all, these stands are height adjustable, so you can set the parrot at a comfortable height for you. Every person is a different height, so shorter, taller, and it's kind of hard to work with a parrot if it's too far down for you to reach or too high or above your face. So having a height adjustable stand is the first step in having successful parrot training. The next thing is having a distraction-free perch. We don't want to be training a parrot when they're on top of your cage or on your countertop or on the table because they're going to be distracted. They could walk around and do all kinds of other things. Even a tree stand, they might get distracted with their toys or want to play. So having a training perch really helps the parrot be in the mindset that now is training time, it's time to learn and pay attention. So a training perch stand is really going to aid your training, and my Parrot Training Perch kits come with a free clicker and target stick as well as a DVD that helps show you how to use the training perches to the max to improve your training so that you can teach your parrot to step up without biting. Hey Rachel, you want to come step up? Thank you. So the next thing is you want to make sure that that parrot is voluntarily participating in the day-to-day activities, whether it's coming out of the cage, going into the cage, stepping up onto your hand, stepping off of your hand. Don't take it for granted that parrots know how to step up or that they always want to step up. Some parrots, they want to step up some of the time, and some of the time they don't. And during those times when they don't want to step up, that's when you might get bit. So by following the training methods outlined in the book, in my videos, using training perches, you're able to try to make it so that much more of the time is the parrot in the mood and the desire to step up and cooperate rather than being in that mood where it wants to bite. Another important point that I want to make is that parrots are nothing like a cat or a dog. People assume that because they're a pet, or you bought them at a pet store, that they're going to be a cuddly, hands-on animal. You're just going to sit there and cuddle and play with and touch. And even though you might see that happening in my videos with some of my parrots, or some people might post videos where you can see other people doing that, don't assume that that's the norm. Parrots are birds, and they're much more hands-off animals naturally. They're not domesticated like a cat or a dog. They don't see being touched necessarily as a form of affection or you showing good intentions to them. Generally, birds being prey animals, they're afraid of being hunted and caught and eaten. So their natural reaction to being touched is actually to be defensive and to try to bite in self-defense. So by keeping your hands off of the bird, you're actually going to be making the bird much more calm and comfortable with you and much less likely to bite. To develop a more hands-on relationship with the bird where you are able to put your hands all over the bird and show them love and affection and kindness through contact and touch has to be developed through taming and training, where we teach them to build trust and befriend the bird so that they can be comfortable with our contact and eventually even learn to enjoy it. You can learn about that also from my book and training videos. Rachel. All too many times, people want to focus on how to punish the bite, how to punish a parrot for biting. And the problem is because they're a prey animal and they're doing it generally out of self-defense, that any reaction that you do directly trying to punish the bite isn't going to discourage it. It's just going to make the parrot more afraid of you. So the parrot bites you and you hit it back or squirt it with water or even try to punish it by putting it back in the cage. The parrot's not going to associate this as being in turn for the bite. The parrot was biting out of being nervous and uncomfortable, so all it's going to do is drive the parrot to be more uncomfortable and nervous next time and more likely to bite again. The real goal is to just make it so that there's no bites in your interaction with your parrot on a regular basis, so that the parrot wouldn't even think of biting, so it wouldn't be the feeling or relationship that the parrot would have towards you. So everyone that tells you about what to do in response to a bite, when people tell you, oh, when my parrot bites, I push into the bite. When my parrot bites, I squirt them with water. Whatever their advice would be, the key is that their parrots bite them. It happens again. It doesn't make the biting not happen. It's just to make them feel better. You bit me, so I hit you back, and that makes me feel good because I'm in control. That's not genuinely going to make the parrot not want to bite next time. The goal is really to befriend the parrot, so biting wouldn't even be something it would want to do because it's your friend, it's your pal. It doesn't want to have that type of hurt or fear toward you. So take it from me. I don't have advice what I do when my parrots bite. They don't. I haven't been bit by parrots in years. The last time I got bit by a parrot was on video when I was getting Santina from the rescue, and that was really because she was shoved on my hand and I didn't have control of the situation. I wouldn't have even put myself or Santina in the position to make her want to bite in the first place. Rachel never bit me. Killian Truman, they don't bite me. It's been 10 years since one of those birds bit me. I mean, I really can't remember the last time these birds bit me because of the methodology and the approach that I follow, where I keep my hands to myself until I've developed a way in which I can have a more hands-on relationship with these birds where they actually want it and enjoy it and are not uncomfortable by it, rather than putting myself in harm's way and asking for it when the bird is not in the mood. And the thumbnail shot for this video is kind of a joke. I had to try to pretend that Rachel's biting me just to be able to take that picture because in fact we have such a great and hands-on relationship. I haven't been bitten so many years. I wouldn't even be able to get her to bite me in order to show you something like that. Now, there are some other factors that can lead to biting, whether it's being hormonal, defensive of territory, or just flat out bored. These topics are more extensive and they're covered in great depth in my book, The Parrot Wizard's Guide to Well-Behaved Parrots. You can learn how to tackle all of the different types of biting from different aspects, but regardless of which of those reasons the parrot is biting, if you keep your hands to yourself, that's not going to happen. How to piece back the hands-on interaction, that's what I really would like to teach you with these supplies and the information that I have to offer. Lastly, you're going to want to outfit your parrot with a great, engaging lifestyle. You're going to want to have a tree stand. You're going to want to have a tabletop perch like over here so that your parrot can come and hang out with you. You're going to want to have lots and lots of toys and activities for that parrot to do. Trick training toys, foraging toys, playing toys. By having your parrot have a more well-rounded, happy lifestyle where the parrot is content, It's well fed, it's happy, it slept enough, it played with toys, it got its energy out. That parrot's going to be in a much better mood and much less likely to be biting out of nowhere for no reason. So you can explore the Parrot Wizard lifestyle from the Parrot Wizard website and see how I use different bird furniture, different bird supplies to encourage better behavior and less biting. You can check out the training perches, my book, and all of the Parrot Wizard supplies that can help enhance your relationship with your parrot at parrotwizard.com. I have lots of free videos, free articles, as well as supplies that you can purchase to help enhance your relationship with your bird, and I look forward to creating many more videos to help you develop a better relationship with your parrot. I hope that this video helps you understand how biting happens and how you can start preventing it immediately. And then I hope it also provides you guidance about the information that you're going to want to learn about so that you can replace the hands-off experience that you can start with a much more hands-on experience right off the get-go. So I hope this helps you solve biting immediately by taking things a step back and having a slightly more hands-off relationship, not putting yourself in harm's way, and then using the tools and information to replace that with a more hands-on relationship by using the taming, training techniques as well as supplies that can enhance your relationship with your parrot. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.